Hey, I'm John. Jack and I are here getting ready to head out on an epic journey, 88 temples. It'll be about 750 miles. I am 54 as we set out.
こんにちは、ジャックです。27歳です。8、18の自由をハイキング、お父さんと息子、頑張ってください。For this journey, we are going to be using the Cotopaxi Alpa 35. It's a 35-liter backpack, and we went ahead and sprayed it down with this Scotchgard water shield. We also have covers for it just in case. For a lot of the smaller stuff, the water bottle, passport, etc., I'm going to be using this fanny pack. As far as clothing, we have 2 pairs of pants, 1 belt, 1 rain pant, 2 t-shirts, 3 merino wool socks, 3 pairs of athletic underwear, 1 cold weather jacket, wet weather jacket. We're going to be using the Hoka Bondi 8s for this, the route guide, pair of sunglasses, sleep mask, earplugs. Now for camera equipment, the DJI Mini 4 Pro RC2 controller, the Insta360 Flow Pro gimbal, Insta360 X4 Rode Wireless Pro, 3-meter selfie stick, got a chest mount, backpack mount, tablet, keyboard. I have to be doing some schoolwork while we're doing this.
20.4.
165.4. 180.8.
15.4. Gear check. We took a lot of what we learned from the Camino back in 2021. We're using the same backpacks. On this trip, I chose to use a front pack. On the Camino, we used drawstring bags that did not work out very well. Beanie hat, gloves, hat from the Camino, rain jacket, rain pants. Wearing 1 pair, bringing 1 pair of pants. We have 3 wool shirts, 3 pairs of underwear, 2 pairs of socks, guidebook. I had to bring my computer to catch up on work, clothespins, sunglasses, as well as extra eyeglasses. How you came up with the idea to do this hike?
Back on the Camino Francis, there was a town that we stopped at. In one of the windows, there was a travel agency, and it had this little Pilgrim, but in a sort of traditional Japanese garb, and there was an 88 next to it. Did some research, found out that it was the 88 temples, and since sort of October of 21, I've been interested in doing this, and so now that's finally coming to fruition.
Yeah, it's amazing to really be able to do this twice, the Camino and now this one. I'm super excited. Given all the preparation we did for the Camino, physically, how prepared do you feel for this journey?
You know, I prepped a ton for the Camino, and it still was challenging, right? And I feel maybe not as prepared for this one. We'll take it day by day.
Yeah, I remember on the Camino, or planning for the Camino, I remember Easter of 2021 where we had done basically a marathon with all of our gear, and that was 6 months before. Not nearly as prepared. Our route plan has us on a couple of light days the first 2 days, so I think we'll be easing into it, getting in shape on the trail.
When did you start planning for this?
I think we had danced around it since about October, so only about 5 months ago. Tuesday after Thanksgiving, we finally booked our flights. I felt like that's when we really got serious and we were committed.
Would I give myself maybe a couple more weeks planning? Probably, if I had to do it again. What lessons are you taking away from the Camino and trying to implement on the 88 here?
It's all about the gear, how much our packs weighed on the Camino, plus 30 pounds. Is what they weighed. Today we're under 20 pounds, and that includes quite a bit of weight for the camera gear. Decided to go with different shoes, which I think is important because we understand that this route will have a lot of pavement.
Put our gear list in a Facebook group, and they were really quick to say 86 the sandals. Utilize those resources as much as possible. And last but certainly not least, what gives you anxiety about this trip?
Well, there's a long list, I guess. Language, cultural differences, accommodations, and make reservations. Bass, cuisine is going to be quite a bit different.
The language barrier, I struggle to think that my skills are going to be good enough to make a phone call to make a reservation. There are certainly some things, but for the most part, I'm excited to get out there and just experience it. Yeah. 5:30, day 0.
In a series of planes, trains, and automobiles. I think we've been on no less than 5 trains, 1 bus, airplane, and that doesn't even count the screw-ups I had on the trains where we had to get off and get on or backtrack or walk some. In fact, day 0, I think we got 5 miles in today.
300 feet from Temple 1, just up the street here. Tomorrow we can hit the ground running and do Temple 2.
Able to watch some pilgrims go through the rituals, feel a little bit more comfortable on how to do that.
Walk through some of the...
Well, I think first and foremost, you can see behind us is our pinrow garb. I went with the sleeveless version.
I went with the sleeved version, and that was partially because it's, you know, still mid-March. It's a little chilly still.
We got our stamp books. Woohoo. I opted for the lighter version. First stamp here.
I went with the heavier one because it has some pre-designed things. So, you know, there's a picture of Temple 1 and then there's the stamp in there too. Finally, the conical hat.
The other thing we don't have with us, but I'm sure you'll see plenty of footage with it, and that is our walking staffs.
The prices on these were kind of crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. For the hat, the stamp book, the garb, and the staff, I paid 60 USD or about 9,000 yen.
I know. I think I had to pay the little guy 300 yen just to put the red marks on the back of my
Stamp it.
yeah, stamp it, and then each stamp at each temple will come at a cost.
Currently making this one from our accommodation for the night. So this will be his first time sleeping on tatami mats and futons.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're wondering why we're sitting on the floor, that's because there is no furniture in this room. It's a shared bathroom downstairs we've yet to check out.
So first night in tatami yesterday, how was that adjusting for you?
It was a new experience. We had our own small room, partially furnished. Despite it being on the floor and maybe being a little thin, I slept great. I had a stellar night sleep. Helped that I went to bed at 8:30.
We may or may not be still fighting a bit of jet lag. I mean, we're up at 6 a.m. every day, which...
We have to force ourselves to, I feel like, sleep that long.
On days that we're not doing temples, it's not going to be as big of an issue because we can start earlier, 20 minutes away from Temple 2, and it doesn't open until 8. We kind of twiddle our thumbs for a bit.
Tomorrow morning we'll be able to, we're about 30 minutes out from Temple 8. We could leave at 7:30.
What did you think about the route today?
We got about 15 miles under our belt today. It was relatively flat, almost entirely on pavement. There was a couple of spots where we got to go on a trail, largely along streets, most of them not too busy, a couple of them a little bit busy. Not a lot of topo today, other than when we walked up to several temples. Very urban today, and I think tomorrow will be very urban as we make our way towards Temple 11. First day out, how'd you feel about the food?
When we could find it, great. Definitely had some challenges with breakfast, for example. We were kind of banking on there being a combini between Temple 1 and 2, which is within the first sort of 30 minutes of us walking, and come to find out it had permanently closed.
Well, we pivoted. We had a couple of granola bars, a coffee dispensing machine at Temple 2. We recovered.
I got to try the hot coffee out of a vending machine for the first time. We waited a little longer for lunch. We kept trying to go off of the path to try and see if any of these food places were open, and the kindest people just would always, no, you need to go this way.
Temple 6 is this way. So we're like, no, we're hungry.
I know. So this one, a very nice gentleman, barely understood like a lick of what he was saying. They speak so quickly. I told him we were looking for a place to eat, and he's like, this place might be open.
Walks us around the corner, opens the door and hollers to see if there's anybody there.
Basically a big pancake, cabbage and egg and a bunch of other stuff, and I think there's pork in there.
Yeah.
And then she had a bunch of sauces and other things that she put on there.
Yeah, it's literally a one-person restaurant. This young lady cooked it all up for us, served it to us, brought us waters. It was crazy, and we're the only guests in the whole restaurant. Of course, it was late in the afternoon, so I guess maybe that's why.
I mean, it was good size. Like, I almost didn't think I could finish one by myself. It turns out I was hungrier than I thought I was. It ended up being 1,200 yen for the both of us. Just unreasonably cheap.
Of course, our other sort of struggle today was we're looking for that coffee from the next vending machine about 2 o'clock, right after we had that lunch, and we couldn't find a vending machine to save our lives. Forewent the afternoon coffee.
Cigarette vending machines, alcohol vending machines. We found every other type of vending machine today, but as soon as you want the one,
none.
It doesn't exist.
And we made it to our Henro house about 4:30 after touring all 7 temples on our way. Nice host here took us to a convenience store to grab some breakfast for the morning because they don't serve, and so we're all set for tomorrow. But in addition, he then dropped us off at a restaurant where we had some really good
udon.
Udon.
It was at an onsen. It was funny the interaction that we had with him when he showed us the room, and he says, you know, you can shower here, or you can go to the onsen for like 500 more. And I said, oh, I have a tattoo, and I pointed to my arm, and he's like, well, how big is it? Can we cover it? And I was like, oh no, all over. Like, you're not gonna be able to cover it. I'm gonna scare the bejesus out of the locals.
But we still went to that same location to get dinner. It was fantastic. Also, only about 1,400 yen for 2 bowls. Pretty remarkable and super filling.
And we'll finish it off with some ice cream because we deserve it.
That's right. And then magically, like Mr. Dietz, where the guy had said, like, hey, just walk back, it'll take you 10 minutes or whatever. And we're like, yeah, no problem. It's dark as anything. We get started to walk back to the Henro house, and Mr. Dietz pulls up and he's like, hey, I'll just give you a ride. I'm like, where'd you come from? Like, how'd you know we were here?
Did they call you when we paid? What happened? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this kind of content, please drop us a like, subscribe, leave us a comment about what you want to see. We'll be posting more content like this coming up in the future. We appreciate you watching as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.